What's something that seemed innocent at first but then turned out to upend your entire life? When my mother and father-in-law, who were in their mid-60s, adopted a little girl because they wanted to watch children again, I thought it was sweet. A little odd, but sweet. The whole thing was shady from the start though. The baby looked like my husband Mark did when he was a baby, and my in-laws insisted on a closed adoption with zero details about the birth mother. Even weirder, Mark became defensive whenever I brought the baby up. My parents are doing a beautiful thing, don't ruin it with questions. It took no more than 3 weeks for me to know something was off. I started digging through our bank statements while he was at work, and that's when I found a weird transfer from 2 months ago. $25,000 to his parents with the memo line, "Thank you for everything." I planned to ask him what that was about that night, but then that same evening while we were silently watching TV, the Facebook message came. A random woman. "Please, I need to talk to you about your husband. It's about the baby your in-laws adopted." The woman's name was Katie, and she was 19 years old. We met at a Starbucks downtown, and she looked destroyed. Dark circles under her eyes and hands that wouldn't stop shaking. She worked as an intern at Mark's workplace until 6 months ago. "That's my daughter your in-laws have," she said, and my whole world tilted. But somehow that was the best of what she said, because as she continued, I realized that my husband was a monster. She told me that Mark was her boss, and at first he was sweet to her, but then he started paying her special attention. 2 months into her working there, he promised her a permanent position and a promotion if she would do favors for him. She needed the money. Her parents were on the verge of getting evicted, so she did anything he wanted. It all culminated the day he made her stay back late. She said she didn't want to do it, but he didn't listen. He overpowered her, then got her pregnant on his desk with a picture of me and him at our wedding staring at him. When he found out she was pregnant, he lost it. He demanded she terminate it, but she refused at first. That's when he offered me $25,000 to sign away my rights as soon as she was born. My world froze. That's the payment I saw. But the money went to his parents? I asked, confused. She opened her mouth, then started crying. He never gave me the money. He made me sign the rights papers at the hospital, then told me if I ever contacted him again, he'd ruin my life. She was full on sobbing right now. She said that right after she signed the rights away, he fired her for performance issues. She's been living in her car ever since. I stared at this broken teenager my husband had destroyed and felt rage like I'd never known. I made a decision at that moment to help. I helped Katie get a lawyer, and I filed for divorce in secret the same week. But that's not all, because me and Katie both wanted the same thing, the truth exposed. And so, we planned everything. The baby's first birthday party was going to be huge. My mother-in-law invited her whole church and all the family friends to celebrate their miracle adoption. The day came and over 100 people packed their backyard. Mark looked nervous, especially as I wasn't speaking much to him, and me dropping hints about the baby looking like him only made him sweat more. Around 6 p.m. it was go time. I stood up to make the toast. I said I wanted to celebrate this special day, and celebrate the amazing grandparents who stepped up to help a baby when needed. Everyone applauded, even Mark looked smiley. And then I said, "And I think someone else wants to say something too." That's when Katie walked in holding the DNA test results. The party went dead silent. "That's my daughter," she said clearly, "and I want her back." Mark and his parents went paler than milk. They started stammering as the entire crowd started exploding in questions aimed at them. They had to sit there and deal with almost 100 people all screaming at them demanding what is going on. In the midst of all the chaos, I served Mark the divorce papers right there in front of everyone. And then, as a cherry on top, I told the whole crowd how he'd impregnated his teenage intern, destroyed her life, then stolen $25,000 from our savings to pay his parents for covering it up. That was the final blow. You could feel everyone's eyes shift to Mark at once. He bolted for the exit, got in his car, and just left. The aftermath was just. My mother-in-law and father-in-law tried to protest, but Katie's lawyer quickly shut them down. Turns out the adoption wasn't even legal since Katie had been coerced into it. Within a few months, Katie had her daughter back, and Mark lost his job when HR investigated. I got the house and most of our assets in the divorce, and his parents? Last I heard, they'd moved 2 states away in disgrace.